capacity we're talking about is the plant itself. But,
Oh, right, but
but
I'm
the
saying-
pumps, yeah, the pump station's failing, and that's what's causing the overflows.
Okay, so in general, it's not like the system is like, it's undersized?
Yeah, the entire, we want to give the impression that the entire plant is being replaced, because it is not. The size of the plant is not a major, the size of our plant is not.
The size of the plant is not an issue.
The pump stations are the real big problem, and the real expensive part of it as well.
That photo that you saw of Roosevelt overflowing was in a condition when the pumps had failed because of debris. So it's not overflowing like that every time it rains and the pumps are operating. Okay, so just to put that in context, that was a pump station failure at that point.
Yeah, I was just curious, because when you were talking about putting the pipe sleeves in, you know, I mean, because if you're putting that in, then it's probably not a capacity issue then.
Right.
Excuse me, Dan Lawrence. In the future, Roosevelt Drive, for example, does have a capacity issue. I mean, often the station runs and wastewater backs up into the collecting system because it can't all go out. So it starts building up, you know, and depending on how much rain we have. So,
And do you have any numbers on like how much like fresh water is coming in as well?
Yeah, me too.
me too.
Because I know, you know, with the sewer separation, like.
Yeah, the average
and all
daily
that
flow of the
stuff.
plant, Tony can Lindsay, correct me if I'm wrong, is about 1.6 million gallons per day. During certain events, you can see 10 to 12 million gallons of flow. So 10 times your normal flow. Wastewater treatment facility, that pump station referred to as a plant, pumps 10 million gallons per day. And we pump 10 million gallons per day when Roosevelt Drive wasn't even pumping, which means we were closer to 12 or 14. So
That's a significant problem.
yeah, it's a huge problem.
It's a huge problem, and that's what the DEP wants us to work on, and that's the second part of our study, which is actually going to start sometime later in spring, which is to help identify where all this flow is coming from. Some might be coming from individual leaders, gutters that are tied into the system, some broken pipes as you saw there.
I think a lot of people are unaware, you know, I mean.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, as long as it's working, you know, as long as your toilet's flushing, everything's fine.
I
But
just have to remember that, you know, historically this was a combined system. Stormwater and sanitary sewer together. And now, in was it
late 70s, early 80s.
late 70s, early 80s, there was separation done to break the two apart. There's no guarantee all of the separation got done.
It's not really enforced, is it?
what's that?
Well, the separation wasn't
Can't really
forced.
enforce it.
The separation was not complete.
Okay.
So we need to try to find out where it's still, like John said, you know, if you have roof leaders going in the ground and they go into the sewer system, that creates an unbelievable amount of water.
Right, that's what I'm saying, I mean, you know, there's many.
So yeah, so starting probably in July, August, we have to do building inspections, and you know, we need to look at trying to find catch basins that may be connected. We'll find broken pipes, cracked pipes, you know, a number of issues. It's a relatively large study given the size of the system, but it's important because we need to get down from that 12 to 14 million gallons per day closer to that 1.6 billion gallons per day. You know, just to give you that, get closer to half of that would be good.